All right. I hope everybody had a good long weekend. Yesterday was Thanksgiving on the Canadian side. We're gonna get the American Thanksgiving next month, and we're also gonna get Black Friday. And we are now officially, basically, today's October 14th. We are getting into the Christmas season, and this is usually good season for the retails and stuff like that, shopping. Lots of that going on. Hopefully, everybody is doing well on the markets. So this morning, when I talk about the market update every morning, I'm gonna talk about a little bit of a dividing the long terms, the short terms, because a lot of people are trading for long term that have long term stocks, and people that are trading short term gonna talk about a little bit short term ideas, a little bit of what you should be doing on the short term, right? So gonna divide a little bit up. When I say divide, I'm gonna say some stocks that are good for short term and some stocks that are gonna be for long term. So some the same stock could be for short term and long term, but I will specifically say though that the reason there's some stocks that I want to hang on for long term, and there's others that I may want to just trade them for short term. So, and I don't tend to hang on to those for a very long time. Whether short term trading is short term trading. I know a lot of people who trade short term, and a lot of people. The short term trading is basically one of the biggest problem with short term trading is if you buy a stock. Let's say you bought it last week. Remember Friday when the market crashed to the downside? If you had bought it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even on Thursday, on Friday morning you would have been looking at a huge loss. Okay, that is short-term trading, and you need very tight stops on it. So whenever you're trading short-term, you're gonna need to protect your capital, and the way to protect it is to have short-term stop losses. Okay, long term, I don't worry about it. If you bought a stock like 2 weeks ago, or if I even told you on that Monday, if you're gonna buy something for long term, let's say I said Amazon was a long term stock on Monday, that means I'm not worried about it. If the market comes down, I'm just gonna be adding more of it. So because first thing I'm gonna tell you Monday morning is when you buy Amazon, I'm not gonna tell you to buy all of it at once. I'm gonna tell you to buy a little bit at a time. So when the market does come down, you're gonna add it. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say here? Because there's a difference between long-term trading and short-term trading. And a lot of people who get in trouble in the stock market are short-term traders, day traders. And we all know that for a fact that 90% of the day traders lose money out there. Okay? Why? Because if they bought it during that last week there, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday or Thursday before Friday's crash, a lot of people went into red, and they didn't know what to do with those stocks or what short-term holdings they were holding. But the long term, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about CNR. I'm not worried about Pepsi. I'm not worried about Coke. You know, I'm not worried about GIS. Why? Because all these stocks have a great cash flow. They're going to survive. They make money, they make revenue, and everybody needs them. Everybody needs those stocks. The only thing you should be worrying on the long term is your capital, your margin. Okay? If you are on margin on the long term, make sure you're that if the market drops like Friday or drops like 20%, that you're going to be able to hold on to those stocks. We had a market crash, not crash, we had 21% market go down in back in April, right? So the question you should be asking yourself, would you be able to hold on to your long-term stocks if you had a 21% market down? Okay, that is the interesting question. Same thing when you had a COVID. COVID, we had a market drop big time. 2008, 2009, compare those times to your portfolio. That's one way to make sure that your portfolio is good, is compared to those times, would you have been able to hold on to your long terms? Okay, we'll talk about this more a little more later on. So let's get on with the market, a little bit update here. So let's take a look at the ES futures. Okay, that was just a quick talk what you should be doing in your portfolio. You should be managing it that in case something does happen. Who knows what this market here could go 21% down very quickly. Right now, the way things are going between China and the US, there is more negativity in the market. So right now, looking at this here, we had a big long candle here. So far, if we have gone to a market here, is sitting at all-time high at 6,800. That's where the market went. So remember that Friday, remember this negative little candle here? Right? I said that was one candle that was negative, and if we break above here, that we would be nullifying that candle. But in the long-term view is if we start getting a lot of these candles up here, we start getting negative candles here, that is giving a sign to us that the market is reversing back to the downside. So that was one candle that give us a sign, right? Even though the price went above it, but it never went strong to the upside. Then, then on Friday, we got this thing. This is a big negative cloud candle. Okay, black cloud. We call it black cloud. It's not only covered one candle, it covered like almost 2 weeks of candles to the downside. So this is a very negative candle. And this is a very negative candle. So another thing I want to point to you guys out is all the candles where they're red. If you look at this red candle and this red candle, look at these candles here down here. See this red candle? We don't know if they were buying or selling in this one, but the candles were going to the downside. So pretty sure a lot of people were selling, right? So if you look at these red candles to the downside, look at that. All three of them are the biggest. And that's another sign that people are selling. The institutionals are selling. And we still are very negative on this market because we now got this candle, we got this candle. I don't, the 67.54, are we going to get there? I think it's just like a performing, it's like almost creating a reverse head and shoulder. It's building it, it's not there yet. Okay, we got the left shoulder, we got the neck, then we look like we're gonna get slowly a right shoulder here. Okay, so sideways, this is what it looks like in the market. So market right now is giving us an opportunity to get out with profits, with good stocks. But the signs are there in the market that we could be going to the downside. We could get some sort of correction. So I'm going to maintain that level unless we start breaking above to the new highs here or something new develops in the market. So overall, I'm still negative on the market. I still think the market can go lower, and there is no sign here. Basically, a lot of sell-off. There's a lot of selling here, even with this red candle here today. Today we are getting a little bit of selling. Even yesterday with the green candle, we got a lot of selling. It really didn't move up much. Okay, a lot of selling going on in the market. Just be careful where we are going in the market. So that is the ES futures. Where are we going to trade today? Remember yesterday I put 725 where the market was going to go short, and it did. This morning I made good money on 725 short. I was up early in the morning, and Gurkeet was as well. Sorry, he's stuck in a border there, trying to get across the US here. But again, we were talking early in the morning, and that was worked out really a beautiful trade. Again, another short trade worked out nicely a few minutes ago. I will share those in a minute. But again, look what this is developing. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. What is the Nasdaq doing? Nasdaq is very similar. So if you look at the red candles here, big red candles, see this here, same thing. A lot of selling going on. There is a lot of selling going on. Especially watch out for this trend line here. If we are going to go below here and close below here, we might be going very quickly to this level here. This is where the next board is, right here on around 22,000 on the Nasdaq. Okay, if we get below here, I think 22,000 is going to come very quickly. And then obviously very strong support around this level here on the Nasdaq. Okay, Nasdaq, the Pacific, the reason I got so many lines here is because there's been heavy trading on the triple Qs here. If you go in the in the dark pool trades, there's been, I mean, not trillions, but billions of dollars have been traded right here. Billions. Okay. So this is where I think really, if we drop below here, we could be getting a really big correction if we get below this market here. Okay. So be very, very careful. Be just manage your market by looking at what's happening in the market. Don't don't trade what your feelings are. Trade what the market is. Okay, we all feel differently when we have our feelings involved, but look at the market. Look what the market is telling you. You have the tools. You guys know how to look at it. You guys know how to read your candles. You guys know how to read your chart patterns, right? You guys know how to read your fundamentals. All three of those things are going to help you big time. Okay, we're going to go over those three things over and over till you all get it. Okay, and then we're also going to the micro. I remember the 30-day course we were going to do on the micro, but problem has been now is we have stopped getting news on the micros. Why? Because we have the government shutdown. There's nothing coming out. We need to look at the micros, what direction they're going. They're gonna bring out the CPI. They're gonna do that on October 24th. They need to bring that CPI out, but we are not getting any jobs data. We are not getting ISM manufacturing data. We are not getting JOLTS numbers, and all those things we need to predict what direction underlying. Remember those underlying microeconomic news. We need to know what direction that is taking us. Right now, the only thing we got was last thing we got was AMD, the non-farm payroll, and that was really negative. And that is telling the U.S. is losing underlying U.S. health in the economy. It's bad. It's bad. It is bad. So sooner or later, it's gonna kick into the stock market. Okay. Right now, who's running the stock market? The AI are making deals among each other. Hey, you buy this stuff from me, I'll buy that stuff from you. There is no money exchanged. This is like back in '99. That's what's keeping this market to the upside. And the other one that keeping the market to the upside is we have a hopes of getting interest rate cuts in November and December. Okay, we gone from a quarter point to maybe 0.5% cut, possibly 0.5% cut on the next market decision, and that's what's keeping this market where it is right now. And then eventually we'll get the numbers out and we'll be able to make a better decision where the market is going. So we are not getting any microeconomic news. So what's happening today? Let's take a look. I want to show you the charts. What's happening on the micros right this morning? We have Jerome Powell talking at around the lunchtime there. So 12:15, he's going to be a market mover. If we are not getting all these job numbers and we're not getting all this data, I want to see what he's going to say about that. And how is he going to make that decision, interest rate decision on the next market? Okay, so that would be interesting to listen to him, and the market is definitely going to move. Okay, so be lookout on for that at 12 o'clock. I'm also looking at 1 o'clock. They're printing money like crazy every damn day. I'm just looking at the American, though they need to cover that debt, and they need to they all the expenses that they're doing. They're printing the American dollar like crazy. And what is that doing to the gold? Gold is being pushed to the higher levels. And it was here's gold. It was 42, almost like I think it did touch 4,200, pretty close there. Anyways, 4,200 on this morning on gold, and that's what's pushing this gold to the upside. If we get a lot of more printing of money again this afternoon, this thing is just going to keep continuing to the upside. Yesterday we talked about it. 4,500 level is not very far away, and it almost touched 4,200 this morning. It's going to continue. Gold is still the long trade. As long as they keep printing that money in the US dollar, this thing is going to keep going higher. Okay, so again, I would still hang on to this gold. It has been a beautiful run since this trend line break to the upside. I hope everybody bought it back then. Again, it's just been an unbelievable run on the gold again. But we have so much profits in golds that make sure you are don't lose them. Okay, so keep that eye on the Russell 2000. uh, we're like this is the rub right now. It's going along with the market, but one of the biggest problem with predicting the Russell 2000 right now is the data again in the market. What is a interest rate cut? So if we are still thinking we're going to get a 0.5% cut, I still like IWM. I like the Russell 2000 for the long term, but only depends on this. Remember, these are small companies, right? All the small companies operate on open rates. Basically, whatever the open rate is, that, and if the open rates are going lower, these companies benefit big time. And that's why this stock or this market, Russell 2000, has been pushing to the higher, and it eventually broke out. Remember 234 on the IWM? I sold all of my IWM. I'm not holding it, but I am looking to get back into it once we get the market data. Okay, once we get the market data back, I'm definitely looking back to get into the IWM. And what is the 10-year doing this morning? 4.02. If it gets below 4%, this market just gonna keep going up. Why? We're gonna be able to borrow more money cheaper on the long-term bonds, right? And the long-term bonds, and I'm happy with my bonds. If they go below 4%, the ones I bought, I'm gonna get capital gains in them. And I hope you guys are, I know many of you guys are still holding those bonds with me. I haven't sold any one of them. So let's just quick peek at the bonds. What are they doing this morning? Let's go here. These are the four we own, and I love all of them. They're all up, they're all profitable, and if they get below 4%, these bonds are going to go to the higher place. Okay, so I'm looking for this market to drop that yield below 4%. So yield can go back. Okay, where is my list? Back to my watch list here. So go again, 10 year sitting at 4.02. It is 0.03% points down this morning. And this is where the sport is sitting at right now, 3.99. And remember that when those rate cuts happened, that's where the market went. So below 3.99, this thing could, I don't think it's going to drop really like a stone, but it'll keep going to the downside. So let's take a look at the VIX on the other hand. What is VIX doing? VIX is popping. It's staying at the high level. So any of those option traders you guys are, remember if this thing is going up, those option traders, the premiums are going to go up. The premiums are still up. They're elevated right now. So be careful when you're trading the options. If this VIX comes down very nicely, the premiums will come down as nice. But if this thing picks up to the higher side, the premiums will also go up. So I do recommend, if you're trading a lot of options, I like to trade 0 day expiries. Okay, 0 day expiries. Those are the best to trade. You trade them today, you sell them today. Okay, that is your VIX. What is the put call ratio doing yesterday? If you look at the SPY put call ratio, it went towards the put side a little bit. Same thing with the triple Qs. And the IWM dropped a little bit towards the call side. So it's not a big change on these ones. They're not recommending what direction from yesterday, what direction they're going to take the market. Okay, I think the market itself is uncertainty right now, which side is going to go. So when you look at these all these put call ratios, basically they're not indicating one way or the other. What about Bitcoin? Bitcoin is down this morning. Again, if it can hold this level here, 107, I think by the time interest rates come around, interest rates get lower, this can go back to the upside. There it is below the trend line again. I am very negative on Bitcoin if it goes below here. And then if it breaks below 107, if it does break below 107, we could be looking at a 99 or maybe under 100K again on Bitcoin. So just be very careful. MSTR went up yesterday, but it is down again this morning. It's around the 300 level. I'm gonna just tell you guys, be very wary of it. I've been telling you guys, giving you been over the last while, even couple of months. I've been telling you guys, be very wary of MSTR. Even though they're the one of the largest holder of Bitcoin, if remember they're in heavy debt. Okay, that interest rate is piling on this company every single day. Okay, so be very careful. They need to pay that debt back sooner or later. And if this Bitcoin really comes down under 100K, this is really gonna get hurt. I can see this under 200K very fast if Bitcoin comes under 100K. So be very careful. The one I would love to is still hold on is Coin Exchange. They make tons of money like IBKR for trading Bitcoin. So this one will survive. Even cryptocurrency gets traded, they make tons of money on commissions. So I definitely keep that. Ethereum is under 4K. Again, same thing here. If it breaks below here on Ethereum 3848, run to the hills. Okay, but if it's still on a nice little bullish flag here. But still, we'll look out for this level here. If it breaks here, we could be looking at around 3,500 on Ethereum. Okay, and the rest of the Bitcoin stocks, you guys know how much I follow those, right? So let's leave them there, and let's take a look at the markets overall. What especially with where the market's gonna go. And one of the ways to tell is take a look at what what are these stocks? What's Tesla doing? What is Nvidia doing? What is Amazon doing? Let's take a look. Tesla. Tesla is sitting on a nice, again here, watch this level on Tesla. If it breaks below 409, I would really, if you guys are trading Tesla and day trading it, 409 is a level that I would be very careful of going long here, but want to go short below that. For this is a trader stock. Again, I like this stock for long term, but if it really comes down to this area around the 320 or 300, then I would be looking for a long term. But short term trading, if you're a day trader, look for let's take it even hourly. What does this look like? So even hourly, it's telling me below 400, or even at this level here. If you want to go short, $419, or if you want a tighter, $422. Okay, these are the levels you can go short on the short term if you're a short term trader. I'm not recommending this for long term. Okay, just remember that this is short term trading. If you want to do that, that's fine. Look for a short below $422. Okay, I'll even put a line here so we can check it later on exactly what I was saying here. Okay, around that level 421.79. Let's take a look at Nvidia for day trading. If you're a day trader, look for it to go below here, 183. Okay, look for below 183 short on Nvidia. If you are right, if you're looking long term, look for above here, above this level here, around 185. Okay, there's your levels for today. What I'm putting, I'm gonna let this, a lot of people interested in day trading. This is the levels that you should take a look at. Okay. Let me get rid of these lines. This is where the big trades have happened. So I'm gonna, can I hide it? Yeah, I can hide this. I'm just gonna hide those. Okay, there's your levels. Break out to the upside, break down from below here to the downside. Let me hide this one too. So we will be able to see that clearly a little bit later on. So there's your upside and there's your downside on Nvidia. Amazon, let's take a look. What's Amazon? Again, go short below 215. I'm looking for this buy. It came out on the other day on Friday. It moved back so fast. I was hoping that it would go down. I remember my 210, 211. I tried to pick it up on Friday, but I never caught it. Okay, I never caught it. I wish I did. I tried to catch it and it went back like 221. So it would have been a nice $10 short-term gain for me. But I did try to catch it around the 210, 211. Remember, I told you guys that a while ago that this is where I wanted to buy Amazon. So today, Amazon, I'm looking. If you're looking short, the market looked like a risk-off day. Look around 215. Okay. So we'll do this every day. What the market, see if our trend lines break to the downside or not. Okay. So I would look for a break below 215 on Amazon. JP Morgan came out with earnings this morning. They beat, just like I said yesterday. Guidance was pretty good this morning. So JP, what is JP doing? JP had a big run, right? JP had a lot of run, so it's not really doing anything really. basically. So strong run for the banks to the upside, but it did have good earnings. Guidance was good. They made a lot of revenue off trading. Again, so if they're making a lot of revenue off trading, remember Sophie? Sophie is gonna get into that business as well. So rather than buying this one here, I would go into Sophie. But this one here, so if you have it, guys, hang on to it. If you are looking to buy, I think I think this is probably a good area to buy around 283. JP Morgan. So if you're looking to buy JP Morgan, look for around 283. But I think it's right now it's a fully valued stock. But I'm really looking for the market correction as well. This is one of my stocks on the list that you want to put on. When there is a correction, market comes down, and if it really comes down, that's where you want to buy. Last buy was a very strong buy was this level right here. Remember when we said and it broke up here, and then look where what it has done since. Okay, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo also came up with earnings. The banks all have been so far so good. Let me show you some of the numbers before that. Let me bring them in. Earnings right there. So all the banks, JP Morgan, there you go, $5.07. They beat the revenue as well. J&J, that healthcare, lotions, that sell very good company, long term, definitely a buy. $2.80. It beat its earnings as well, and revenue right there, 23.99. Goldman Sachs came out with earnings, the big bank in the U.S., $12.25. They beat the revenue handily. A lot of traders, big time trading going on in the markets, and they're making a lot of revenue off that. Citigroup as well, they also beat numbers very strongly to the upside. BlackRock, that big ETF, that all those trading here, it did not make us, it didn't break, especially on the revenue. But revenue was very strong still on here. They did beat the revenue, but the earnings here, they just came a little bit under. Well, take a look at their stocks in a minute, what they're doing. Wells Fargo, there it is. It beat its earnings and revenue as well. I said this yesterday. They will all pretty much will beat their revenue and earnings, but it depends on the guidance what they were doing. So if anybody's following Domino Pizza is also, this is a very volatile stock up and down if you follow it. But let's take a look at one by one. Like we looked at JP Morgan. Should you buy J&J? Okay, let's take a look at J and J. Okay, let's take a look at what it's doing this morning. It did beat the earnings, but the stock is down. Why is the stock down? A lot of people say, it beat its earnings. Why the stock is down? Look at the run up, guys. This people are taking profits right now, but it's going to give you an opportunity to buy. If you're looking to buy J&J, I think JJ would make a really nice buy at around 178. I don't know if it's going to come down to it, but I think the stock had a nice run up before the earnings, and that's why these stocks are down right now because they already had a run up. They knew if I can tell you yesterday they were going to beat the earnings, what do you think all the other people were thinking? They all knew they were going to beat the earnings now, but they're just taking profit, especially the retail sector. They're selling into strength. And that's how they, able to sell millions and millions of shares very quickly. They sell into strength. So that is J&J. Take a look at Goldman Sachs if anybody's following that one. I've been following this stock for a very long time. Again, a lot of trend to the upside. Why is it down? Because they're all taking a profit. They're taking a profit in that. They're taking a profit in Citigroup. Take a look at that as well, right? They're all Citigroup is slightly up, but again, it's been coming down in the last few days, anyways. So, anyways, all these banks, and this bodes well for Canadian banks as well. The Canadian market is going to open up today. It was closed yesterday. So we're going to get a little bit of a benefit of the Dow Jones going to the upside. So the Canadian market should pump up a little bit to the upside. The Canadian stocks will do well as well. And if you look at TD this morning or any of the Canadian banks, I like to look at World. World been keeps hitting new highs, all-time highs. This is the all-time high on World Bank, and it was 201. So I'm looking for this to the upside this morning. Same thing with the TD Bank. I'm looking for this to the upside as well. It had a little bit of dip on Friday with the market to the downside. So if you guys picked up a little bit of TD at the bottom here, it should give us a little bit to the upside this morning. good, especially with our earnings, and also from a benefit from yesterday. The market was to the upside. Okay. So anybody have any other Pacific stocks they want to talk about? Again, we have no market data, especially Jerome Paul is talking at noon today, and I'm also looking at what kind of money they're going to print this afternoon. And if they're going to print another billions of dollars, you can bet that gold will keep going to the upside. Again, is there any say? Okay, let's GIS, GFL. Yes, they are definitely long term. So, yeah, if you have them, definitely buy. Or GIS is sitting around the $50 range. Remember, everybody's got to eat cereal. Or even though it's going to the downside here, they have lots of cash flow. Okay, this been stockman hanging around 50. I've been buying some of this stock every time it goes above 50. I'm looking for a break to the upside. Long term view definitely is a buy, but let it come down. If it's come down further, I would be a buyer. I will let you know if I jump into it. Okay, GIS, definitely yes. It's giving us more opportunity to accumulate a good stock like this one. GFL, yes, definitely is a long term. Again, this is a garbage company. You know, people are gonna keep making garbage. They're gonna keep collecting garbage. And if you can get a lower opportunity on GFL, I would love to buy this thing at 31. I would love to buy this thing at cheaper. Okay, it has run up from its IPO quite a bit, 1721. I don't know if it's going to come down that much, but if you're looking for garbage companies, well, the other one is WM, I believe, uh, Waste Management. This is another company to buy, and then it's Waste Connection, WCN, I believe. All these three companies, you can buy them on the dip. It look like WCN is coming to a nice sport here at 169 bucks here. Long-term view on these stocks is you can accumulate them and accumulate a little bit at a time, especially you young guys. When you're 25, 30, you're 30 years old, these stocks are going to continue to go upside. Why? Because somebody's got to collect that garbage, right? And who pays for the collection of the garbage? Cities do, the governments do. So they're never gonna. These things are always gonna make money. So long-term view is definitely keep them on your list. And if you have a nice dip on them, definitely a buy. There was a little bit of dip here opportunity. There was a original dip opportunity here, back here. But look at the stock, right? Even if it comes down, if this stock came down here, then it just pumped right back up. Came down here, pumped right back up. All every time we get a dip buy, this could be a nice dip buy right now. If you don't have it, buy a little bit. You don't have to buy a lot. But this is a long term, not a short term stock, guys. Long term. Okay. If it's going to be a short term stock, buy. If it really drops, that's when I would say, hey, let's jump into it for short term trade. But right now, this is not a short term trade, but this is a long term trade. So keep a difference between your short terms and the long terms. Okay. You need to get out of the short terms very quickly. Okay. So anybody want to talk about Pacific stocks that we already own? Okay. Okay. Anyway, TMRC for day trade. Let's take a look at that. TMRC, Texas Minerals. Okay. Wow. Oh, that's really a pump to the upside here. $2. It's a small stock, guys. If you're gonna trade stocks like this one here, I normally don't trade stocks like this, especially penny stocks. Be very careful. Keep a tight stop on them. Okay. So if you look at this company and what they do here, let's take a look quickly. It's a very small company, 216. It's not even a $1 billion company. Texas Minerals, what do they do? Exploring development minerals. I bet they probably do rare earths too, right? They probably mentioned it somewhere in their news release, right? So yes, definitely 214K, very small company. Does it have revenue? No. Does it have earnings? No. So I would anybody's investing for long term? No. If you're gonna day trade it, that's fine. It's up to you, but keep a tight stop on it. Okay. So again, these are the stocks. What are again more bank earnings? More earnings are coming out this week. You can see tomorrow morning we have Bank of America, Morgan Stanley coming out with earnings. Again, the banks will be fine, but again, there'll be a lot of profit taking. Okay, a lot of profit taking. So AB and V is coming on Thursday. Again, take a look at what the market is doing. uh, ES futures again is holding this line here. Let's go to the 1 hour chart again. Again, be very careful here on the ES futures. As I've been trading the Nasdaq again. If it goes below this trend line, I will be short again. It was a nice short this morning. This is where I shorted. Remember that I put in 725 yesterday in the chat. If it goes below 725, this is what it's gonna do, and that's what exactly what did this morning. And then I got out of the trade here, and then I took a short again here below this support here, and then I also took a short again here below this one here, but it went right back up. But I collected my money. Remember, it's a short term. KVUE long term, buddy. Yes. This one is a problem with the Tylenol. Uh, uh, yeah, this one is a Tylenol company there where Donald Trump has autism, blaming Tylenol for autism. I think this is an opportunity buy that Donald Trump has driven this stock to the downside. I do believe this is a good stock. I think Tylenol is still good. I take Tylenol myself. I'm not really afraid to do it. But again, autism, that's what he linked it to. I think John F. Kennedy, that junior guy, I think he's a wacko half of the time what he's saying. But again, 16, 15, I think it's an opportunity for long term. Again, I have a very small position in it. If you're gonna make sure you get a like start with a very small position dividend. That's what I would suggest there. So definitely buy for long term. But again, start off very small till this negativity is gone. Okay. So looking at the whole market, gold is sitting at 41.25. Now it's down about $7.50. Okay, and that's with the yield is going to the downside a little bit. So let's see what happens. Let's throughout the I will join you at back at 9:30, and let Harvey do his market update. So, anyways, guys, I will stop the recording.